The path to peace is the most natural thing in the world to access, but it's also the last thing in the world we would ever consider as the solution, to give up trying. We have a tendency to run away from the path as fast as we can at the earliest opportunity we get. We feel we need to grow up. We imagine all these things we need to do. It's not that goals or ambitions, and indeed duties, are at all a problem. It's our addiction to our goals, the sense that we simply must achieve them in order to be satisfied. This is the problem. And the reason we don't realise that the most natural path is the solution to everything is because it's literally no solution. Because only when there is no solution can there be no problem to solve. We are bound to become problem makers and problem solvers. We think that to achieve something, we need to do something in order to achieve it. And we never consider that our need to get something is the opposite of already having what we need. Maybe some of you understand this already, but it is completely counter to ordinary human behaviour and instinct. And for this reason, there are really only two ways for humanity to be able to find this solution, even though it is hidden in plain sight. Either you can be told by someone who has discovered it through mystical experience, or you can discover it yourself through your own mystical experience. Either way, at least until the other extreme of pleasure and science succeeds on its own path, righteousness, and particularly mysticism, which is the absolute extreme of addiction and thus the opposite of peace, is our only means to discovering this truth. Without it, we are perpetually students or seekers. Mysticism is therefore a wounder that heals itself, a poison that cures itself. And this is not just a fitting metaphor. The mystical knowledge is precisely an understanding of the unity of opposites. So, naturally, it is both a blessing and a curse. And only at the very depths of desire and suffering is that curse transmuted into a blessing. And only those who are willing and able to suffer deeply are able to see the journey to its end. It's not about being a genius. It's not about being spiritual. The key to attainment is a moral willingness to sacrifice yourself for the sake of knowledge. And I'm sure there have been countless thousands of individuals throughout history who have discovered the path to peace through their own relentless desire. Some we know about, most we probably don't. And we should be aware that discovering the path does not necessarily mean that that individual will end up walking it. Discovering it is only the beginning. The most obvious example of such a discovery is clearly the case of the historical Buddha, as the tradition which developed from his discovery explicitly emphasizes a middle way, which is a spiritual path that steers clear of both extreme asceticism and sensual indulgence. This is no coincidence. If you decide to become a Buddhist, then you will be taught how to get on the path and keep your balance. The standard Buddhist path is a path that entirely avoids the danger of becoming addicted to righteousness. But if you do not have a teacher, or you do not attend to any teachings, then you shall have to be fully devoted and addicted to righteousness, which means shunning balance, and shunning what you would otherwise have been taught.